Hi, everybody. I'm joined by half of Jean and 2/3 of Joyce.
Yeah, it's fine.
Hey, everybody. I'm joined by half of
Oh, you're echoing. Yeah.
2/3 of Joyce. There we go. We're good. Welcome to the Outsider Insider Live, fellow Knights of the Rhomboid Table. Hope you are all well. Yeah, we all have sun in our eyes here.
Yeah, I want to welcome everybody in here to the holiday camp of Anthony and Joyce Dodge in Abeltoft. So welcome to the show that is coming from my home.
Also known as the Jean Ricard Home for the Criminally Insane, named after the most criminally insane Dane there's ever been, Jean Ricard. So let's go.
Andy.
So yeah, let's say hi to everybody that's out there. Hey, Canadian Locomotive Logistics, Sir Colin of White, Sir Andy the Hot Dog Pilot, Sir Evo Ponzone, Sir Leslie of Gilpin, Sir Lyndon of Lintree Town Train, Sir Dino of Model Railway Shed, Sir Christopher of Sakura Densha, loved your videos and Facebook posts this week, Sir Tim of Dowd, our devoted CEO, Sir Tom of Couples, our great Sergeant at Arms, and Sir Chris of the Valleys.
Is the bar open?
Sir Mick is not here, so somebody will have to open the bar.
Hey.
Oh, what do we do?
What do we do? With no Mick, what do we do?
Right.
Well, we can say cheers anyhow. Cheers from the bar. The bar's open.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We had a pretty powerful Belgian beer earlier today.
Wow.
So, wow, it has been an adventure. We're going to take the time live to embarrass Jean Ricard in a different way than we normally do. And normally we don't have to do it. He'll embarrass himself, but that's a different story. We have had a great time here. He's been a great host. He has taken us to many places.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't like to rank, but obviously it's kind of fresh in the mind. Was yesterday we went up. If you ever look at a map of Denmark and you got that skinny little point that it eventually comes to an end at.
The other way.
Yeah, but I'm doing it for their.
Oh, okay, but it goes the other way.
Actually,
Yeah.
if you look at the north, it goes that way.
Yeah.
Goes
To
that
the
way.
point.
See, you're looking at the reflection. See, as-
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shouldn't you then do it
he
like
doesn't even know his own country. Okay. So anyhow, at the very little point
yeah.
right there where there's can be no more Denmark in its water, he took us there yesterday. And it was actually very cool to see it.
It's fun. Yeah, the waves were crossing over each other from the different bodies of water. That was really neat.
Go beyond the propaganda. Hey, I can't say much as I am driving. Okay. You are not knighted. There is somebody here. I'm just seeing who else. Oh, Sir Clive has come in. No, we did not go to Legoland. Besides, isn't that no, that's somewhere else. I gotta get to this one. I said hi to everybody, but that is there. I just gotta find this real quick. Somebody says they're driving. So wherever you're driving,
Drive safely.
drive safely. I just gotta knight them.
But you got knighted anyway.
I now declare you a knight of the Rhomboid Table.
Good. Okay.
I'm sorry. Got to do the official
Right.
crossing. And which Andy is here, or is that just for Hot Dog Pilot Andy? I shouldn't say just for, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, we know a lot of Andys.
I don't know if there's a buried lighthouse or not. There was a bunch of German World War II bunkers there.
There were, and there was an active radar installed.
I would have to make a correction there. It's not actually a buried lighthouse. It's actually a buried church in the sand dunes have buried.
Oh, okay.
That's what you're talking
So there's a
about.
buried church
At Skane, but we didn't go there.
We didn't go there. Hey, Mike. Now, yesterday on the way to that wonderful place, we stopped at a town called Aalborg and we went to a shop called Hobby Caden.
Yeah.
and it was a really nice shop. I will be uploading a video of our visit to it, but while we were there, I did buy some stuff. Now, a couple of days ago, we went to the train museum. It's what is it?
Known as Jerusalem's Jernbanemuseum.
The Jerusalem Train Museum.
And Jerusalem being the nose of Jutland,
So
you
it's
have-
sort of the region we're in.
yeah.
It's the region we're in.
And on
Yeah,
that nose, there's
Denmark.
We are in Denmark. We are in Denmark.
So where are we from?
There's something rotten in the state of Denmark, but it's just Jean's deodorant. No,
maybe we should have put up a little flag behind you so that
yeah, we should have put up a little Danish flag and a picture of Australia. No, for your queen, for your queen.
we don't. She is Danish, absolutely Danish.
I'm sure she is.
Yeah, and he's not in here anyhow.
Hey, which Eric is here? Is that Van Don Eisenbahn Eric?
Yeah.
Yep, there he goes. And hi, Willie, if you're watching in the background.
And hi, Ari.
And Kara, hello. And Sir Lee is here. And did Artie just pop in?
Nope, I did. I saw the wrong thing.
Oh, you did
Sorry.
yourself
Yep.
the right thing. So yeah, but I went to the Model Train Museum and I posted two teasers. I have posted two teasers about some stuff I bought, but this little train museum, and it is kind of small by comparison to the other train museums we've ever gone to.
Absolutely.
Very nice, very friendly people there, and they do a lot of work. It's a lot of them are members of the train club you're a member of, right?
Well, yeah.
Or you're a member of the museum.
Actually, the museum is part of what is known as the Danish Train Club that runs a bunch of different heritage railways around in Denmark.
Okay.
And they also run this museum, and they basically makes a magazine 6 times a year that tells about anything railroad related in Denmark and the surrounding areas like northern Germany, Sweden and Norway and so on. So it's
and the museum also has a small little layout that it runs and operates, but people donate stuff to it at times. And unfortunately, in some ways, I mean, it's always sad. It's always sad, but sometimes people donate a lot of Miraklin stuff. But the layout at the club is 2-rail, so the Miraklin's useless. So they were selling the Miraklin, and they had a ton of Miraklin stuff there, but a really nice supply. But they sell it, and all the proceeds from the sales goes to operating the museum. Hi, Mara.
hello.
Yeah, it really is, Leslie.
I'm sorry if I don't reply to all of you, but I have a little bit difficulty in following the chat,
Hello, this may contain nuts. Yes, we are in Denmark. We are in Denmark right now. Tomorrow morning, we are leaving Abeltoft and going to Copenhagen for 3 days. Or Copenhagen.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
I bought something from the train museum, and then yesterday at Hobby Caden, I bought some things to go with it because this is going to be a special live stream because it's the first time traveling on one of our travel live streams.
Right.
2022 from the UK, 2023 from
Yeah,
Germany,
we've traveled to a lot
2024
of
from
places.
Australia.
Yeah, it really was, Tom.
But I have to pop my screen here for a second. And which one we want? Dual cams. We are actually running trains today.
Yeah.
Trades. And the front train is it's a class BR01 I bought. It's about a 15 to 20-year-old model. It was released in 2006, but they continually produced it through 2011.
Floor trains indeed.
So we are running floor trains on C-Track. Jean and I built that track today while Joyce stared at us and just shook her head a lot. Boys in the trains. I hear what you say.
I
hear what you say. But what it sounds like is, yeah, your train, Sarah.
Shortbread Express.
156.
Sporting the carpet. Yeah.
Yes, on the carpet in honor of you, my good friend CEO.
It's a tribute partly to you, Tim Dowd. You know, I always admire your layout when I come into it.
Yeah.
So, but I don't have
Yeah,
mine
fish
put up
Yeah.
permanently.
Teppichbahn. Yep,
Indeed.
Teppichbahn.
Yeah.
Teppichbahn.
Now.
Let's see. If we did that one,
Cylinder 01. Let's see, 01.1 has a lot of.
or let's go back to dual
He's telling you
caps.
from that tiny picture which you have.
Yes, yes. Of course. Well, you knew we.
It's evil,
Like
know.
I said, we actually were going to set up, weren't we? We were going to set up a little betting table as to who would say what everything was.
yeah,
And put it, and the problem is we were all betting on Evo.
Yeah, right. How you on?
So yeah, that little picture below us is it's Grainen. It's actually called Grainen.
That's the absolute top of
Pointy top, the pointy top of Denmark.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the pointy top of Denmark.
Denmark.
You go up to that, and then Denmark doesn't exist. It's just water. And then you have the Kattegat and the Skagerrak.
Yeah, correct.
And they flow into each other. They actually hit each other. Their currents come from different directions. So
Pardon me?
Do you have a 420 down there? That's what EFO's identified.
A 420? No. What should that be? A 4?
Where can I move? Where can I move this? Hang on. I gotta move. I want to
Just put
move.
it on exclusively. We can't do that.
No, I like to have us here where we can people can see us. All right, there we go. Now I can do it. Yeah, see,
All right.
we're all good.
So tell what your
Except it's right below my name.
Yeah, it is.
Well, the one that is in front now, the little one, is known as a marzipan loaf, so to speak,
Right.
on the inner rail. And the white one going in the middle there is a IC3 MFA FFMFB Danish State Railway type IC train.
There we go. Now we're in the middle, and the trains are running around us, so that's cool.
That works.
Well, hi, Sir Daz. Nice to have you here.
Daz. You know how you do
Going.
Yeah, but I think I just gave for the trains that the two inner lanes that I represented, and you, since
my new stuff is running on the outline. It's a BR01 with a group of post World War II Era 3 cars, Era 3, Era 4 cars of Deutsche Bahn. And yes, it is missing the
yeah, he was calling it a marzipan as opposed to a toilet seat.
I don't think it looks like marzipan loaf. I can go with toilet seat. Sounds weird.
Not so much.
But anyhow, we got class 01, and then the four cars.
Belgium typed at you there.
What's that?
There's some Belgian type.
That white one is called a toilet seat in Belgium.
I think you're over it.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not. He's
No.
I'm sorry. I
don't know.
Yeah, this may contain nuts.
Oh, well,
you're gonna understand that. We don't. That's been a long.
Oh no, somebody says the white. The silver one that's coming around now. That silver, that is local Danish diesel rail cars.
Fast speed.
We rode one of those.
We did.
We rode one of those coming from
from Kolding.
From Kolding up to Aarhus.
That was kind of a funny
this
story.
This may contain nuts. You are absolutely right. That's the Danish, what we call it. It is a marzipan, you know, as you write.
Right.
And to be perfectly honest, that it's just to have a representation of a private railway type locomotive, you know.
Right. Yeah. So, and yes, for the purist out there, we're missing on the train going right under us right now. That's my 4 new cars. and the new locomotive I bought, although it's new old stock. Yeah, we're missing the DSG Speisewagen, and we're missing a baggage car, which they actually had at the shop, but I do actually have them at home, so I didn't buy them. So I'm just running the 4 cars I bought.
I will.
Hey, Simon.
John has invaded the live.
Now, Simon, I'm sorry we're not communicating very well with you
Yeah.
regarding Copenhagen. It is simply because
We don't know.
we're leaving tomorrow. Our ferry leaves at 11:30. Our ferry leaves around 11:30, but we're gonna drive to this one tram museum.
We are going to the tram museum in Skjoldenæsholm tomorrow at afternoon. So Simon, if you have any chance, that would probably be one of the best chances you have.
Oh, but it's way out.
Yeah, that's quite a drive.
Well, it's 50 kilometers from Copenhagen center, so it was a possibility nonetheless.
Well, Ifo, the car that goes with it, I have, or at least according to the consist that Miraklin released with it.
Do you have some things at home?
I have the last 2 cars of that at home.
Actually, I'm taking the liberty to find the box because what I find interesting is that in the box they have actually as a
Wonderful Copenhagen.
they have put up a brochure where they show the consist of the train. So you can
Castle
you can see. I don't
Hang on. I have to do it this way. So here,
fold it out, and you can show it.
So this is the Miraklin announced
Suggestion.
consist, and it shows the 5 wagons,
6 wagons.
6 wagons.
Yeah, and you got the four of the green.
And there shall be, and thou shalt not come.
Okay. Maybe we can need them.
3, sir. Yeah, 6 wagons. So yeah, so I got 4 of them. I didn't get the red one, and I didn't get the one on the bottom because I actually got those from Herb's collection. I got them at Herb and from Horse.
So we can maybe
One from Herb,
it,
one from Horse.
Maybe make it counting isn't easy. You do it live. We'll have to see what we have at home. I think that might match up with it.
Your husband has every idea that he has the rest so that he can make the.
Slowly turning into a.
I'm not slowly turning it. There are certain trains where I want to complete, where I like to have a proper consist.
Sort of true. Yeah.
Well, it's not that I'm turning into. I think I've always been. My Regio Bonds had to have the right 5-car consist. My IC2 had to have the metronome had to have the proper 5-car consist.
Right.
There are other trains where because I don't have it, I don't stress out about it. I just run what I can.
Right.
You are. I don't know if SJ trains, if you are referring to, if you would come to the museum, but you would be most welcome. But
we just can't tell you when we're going to be there. But in the evening tomorrow, we'll be in Copenhagen.
Yes, he's suggesting tagging along when we get to Copenhagen.
Because we are staying at the Cabine Copenhagen over by the Flix terminal, the Flixbus terminal. It's Cabine Copenhagen, right?
Yeah, it's actually at the old
Volmex. Take care.
It's actually a brothel. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, you should see what's across the street from this awesome hobby shop.
Are you kidding? Anthony's prototypical 90% of the time, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah, I don't force prototypical, but when I run certain trains, I want them to be as prototypical as I can get them. I just don't demand it or expect it or require it.
Make them as complete as possible.
My attitude is you run whatever you run. Whatever happens. For myself, there are certain trains I definitely want to have the proper consist. So like my rail jets.
Thank you, Lee. I say on the behalf of the Dodgers.
Yeah, well, Joyce already said. Okay. So well, since you already said bye, now he said bye.
Yeah.
On behalf of the Ricards, I'll say thank you, Lee, and goodbye.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't,
Yeah,
following three talking
Right.
English.
Plus the chat,
Plus the
yeah,
chat.
right.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
okay.
I know,
It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
It's
I know.
okay.
Thank
You
you.
crazy little dame. I know.
Actually, I'm kind of snuggling now. It's
Yeah.
kind of,
It's getting very
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
it is getting a little
But you've got
comfortable,
trains running
but it's okay.
yeah.
because this is a big deal. We've got
Yeah.
John running trains.
Yeah,
We got John running trains.
Sean enjoyed watching the trains today too, so. Yeah, all right, Simon, I think maybe we'll just contact you.
Well, yeah, because I could text you and say,
when we
okay, we're
figure out
nearing.
what we're doing in the evening.
But
Maybe
that would be
dinner or
great because
something.
I don't know how aggressive we're going to be tomorrow night after the car ride. But yeah, going out, going in. But yeah, we're at that cabine. We're at the Copacabana. No, wait, no, that's south of Havana. So
Yeah,
we're not going
that's
there. Oh, Copenhagen, Havana. They sound the same to me. All right, you're going to be heading out now. I'm a train driver for a
that's
Go
cool.
Collective in Denmark from Odense. All right, well, that's cool. I think you joined us recently, so thank you.
Thanks for coming in and have fun, maybe.
Yes. No, it's awesome. We've been to many places. Denmark is just another beautiful country. Oh my God, the places we've
It's Seven
seen.
Pod Hotel. I don't know.
And I'll tell you what, I've joked about this amongst us, but when we were up at Gainen, one of the coolest things about this is a very tourist area, and maybe it's just off season, but there's a lot of people there. But it's one of the first very beautiful tourist areas I've been to where you didn't have all the TikTok girls. The girls from the ages of 15 to 30, that big Botox lips,
That's
super big eyelashes, and just constant selfie, selfie, selfie. It was all normal people.
there were people like
And
us.
then me.
That's how we felt.
And then the other thing, you may have seen my
It was just,
Facebook
it
post.
was
If you
really warm.
you may have seen the
Yeah.
Facebook post. I went
Yeah,
swimming
it
in the
really
Skagerrak.
It's beautiful here.
I went swimming in the Skagerrak. Or did I get the wrong one?
Compliments on your home
where,
here,
when did you
Sean.
go on
Which
scale?
which one did I just go swimming in?
Yeah,
Kattegat
The Kattegat.
yeah.
I went swimming in the cat guts
today.
today.
Today, yeah, I waded and it was
Yeah.
lovely.
I went swimming.
Very cold.
The water was
Was
colder than Australia. The
15
air
degrees?
temperature was warm, but the air temperature was cool with the wind.
Was it about 15 degrees, the water?
15.
14.6, I forget.
Yeah, it was 14.6
Yeah,
Celsius.
14.6 degrees Celsius.
And
That's 58 for
in the
you
video,
Americans.
you see my first two
It's
times
very
going.
cold.
Yeah, in the video, you see my first two times going out swimming. I did go back out and swim even
SJ
more.
is Dutching you.
He's
Okay.
Danishing you.
Danishing you, sorry.
Dutching?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's
What he said.
it's on the old freight depot, where Vonex used to lay, right next to the Black Diamond
the
on
hotels.
Piscatol. Yeah,
And the Flixbus.
yeah, and the new bus
The
terminal.
new Flixbus terminal is there.
Terminal in Copenhagen.
Oh, man. Welcome, Sir Aaron
28 in the Netherlands?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
It's crazy.
Before we left, we checked long range forecast, and it was going to be cold or cool everywhere we go. So we packed all these warm clothes, hoodies, and we've been overdressed. We don't have warm clothes again. Clothes for warm weather. We have warm clothes. We don't.
But we bought. Well,
Uh-oh.
I'm turning it on.
Oh, no, it's been unplugged. No, it accidentally got unplugged. Sorry. Somebody moved the chair and unplugged my cord.
oh,
I thought you.
anyway,
No, it was accidentally unplugged in the back. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we thought it would be very cool if we could run some trades for you. Yes, you don't have the visuals and
okay, so you know exactly where it is. That's good. So anyway, no, it's what is it now? 18 degrees Celsius?
what outside air temperature
Yeah,
stuff?
something like that.
Well, I saw it
About 18.
17, but
Yeah.
who cares about it?
So yeah, 28, that's hot.
Oh, was the reception manager there? Cool. But yeah,
Yeah, then we see the weather at home right now. It's about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
17
65 and
degrees and
raining.
raining. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's cool.
no, we've had
But
and
it's also been very hot.
it was supposed to be kind of
Yeah.
cloudy and rainy here for our time in Abletop, and the last 2 days have been warm and sunny. It's been
Mhm.
absolutely beautiful, but the country here is beautiful.
Oh, very, yeah.
We've run into a lot of wonderful people.
You know, so it's a big island. There's so much water here.
Island.
Well, isn't it?
It's
I mean,
a
What's an
it's,
island?
it's a
it's like
peninsula.
it's a
Well,
peninsula.
it's a
or
peninsula.
Yeah,
something.
we are the only
I
one
know, but
that's
it's
landlocked with Germany. All the rest of Denmark is kind of islands, you know.
yeah. So, well,
Well, I'll bear
anyways,
that in mind.
it's lovely. There's lots of
But
water.
the next swimming I want to do is the Baltic.
Oh,
I want to hopefully somewhere
oh,
between
you're not
Rostock
gonna turn
and
down a
Stralsund.
harbor where you can go swim.
No, I may not.
Who are you fooling here?
Nobody. I didn't deny it. I said the next swimming I was planning.
Planning on. Yeah, we're going to Rostock and we'll be
We're
in
going to Rostock and
that's the next
to
life feed, right?
Stralsund and the Isle of Rügen. So there will be hopefully plenty of places where
That's
I
the
will
next
drag you in
next
the
life
water with
feed,
me.
right?
Oh,
Is-
yeah. A
we'll
week
be in
from today, we'll
Rostock.
be in Rostock,
Yeah.
which will be our last live feed from
Yeah, we'll like that. We
Europe.
like being near the water.
But yeah, I got a bit of sun. My face is kind of, my
You're
cheeks are
right.
kind of red here,
Yeah.
at least on the.
We ran great. You only swim to survive.
You only swim to survive.
It is.
Oh, I love swimming.
Yeah, I mean the weather today. Now my weather may not be terribly accurate. It was supposed to be partly cloudy. It was not. We were in full sun today.
Beauty.
So we toured the old part of the city today. So we were outside for that. Then we went over in the
People, that is a plan, is we are planning to ride the Molly,
yeah
the Molly,
the Mali.
the Molly,
Yeah.
Well, we're with train people, so
the
it
Bad
doesn't matter.
Doberan Express. Yeah. So we are
So
planning to
feeling
do that.
strong,
That is
yeah.
the one train thing we're doing other than our usual travel
Right.
by train. Because, a lot of people always ask us, oh, well, because
Yeah.
I do model trains, they think I'm into all things train. And it's like, oh, well, you got to go here and see this train museum. And you got to go there and see that train museum.
It's glad to see you. No,
Yeah.
it's about you typing. Just type when you feel like it. Everybody understands.
Well,
that.
that's the nice thing about Saltwater.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Andy from March West Junction. He
Easy.
answers to both, but
Good,
he
right.
he usually writes Andy when he's typing.
Gotcha. Okay.
But he answers to both. Unlike me, he only answers to Anthony.
Yep.
Oh, this is going fast now.
Oh, it is go fast. We got a lot of people here. We got
Yeah,
35
it's
people
huge.
here. Great to have you.
Let's do it. If you haven't hit the like button yet, ladies and gentlemen, please hit the like button.
He's still my heart. Eyes above the neckline, gentlemen.
Yeah, let's say check. You didn't have very many likes.
Refresh it.
Maybe I'm not refreshed.
You got to refresh it.
Oops.
That's not refreshing.
Okay. I give up.
Speaking of refreshing,
Yeah. Cheers once more.
you don't have a drink.
I don't have a drink.
Prost. I can't do it. This is an
I'm
alcohol.
sipping a drink. Yeah.
It's dead Coke. So the same thing as Diet Coke.
Yeah, it tastes like good Coke.
And you have taken my class.
Did I take your glass? I just found it in a cabinet in this house. I didn't know it was yours.
Quite all right.
Oh, quite frankly, they're all his glass.
Exactly. That was
Yeah,
the
I
joke.
think that's the joke. Yeah.
No,
what
but
can
you
we
see
say?
that this is also one of my favorites to drink of,
Oh,
Yeah. But
okay.
it's quite
I knew.
You like the
I had a
flowers, too.
sense.
yeah.
But yeah,
We did find an Abletop magnet.
yeah, we did.
Okay.
We found an Abletop magnet.
Yep.
Not that,
No, but
but it's been a crazy week. First
Busy,
of all,
always busy.
we are our train. This has been the worst train travel trip we've ever had.
It is. Well, it's really.
Every train of ours has been delayed.
Have to say it's been the high-speed ones that have been delayed. The
True,
regionals are doing
but we're
fine.
riding high speeds pretty much
Yeah, but
everywhere.
because we have connections and things that we're missing.
We have
it's
just
not
every
been
single
fun.
one of our trains has been delayed. or canceled. We've missed connections and had to find other connections. And
Yeah, it
probably the
was-
craziest of all was coming up from Hamburg
Yeah,
to here
right.
because we caught a train from Hamburg and we got to Colleen about 10 minutes late and we had a 10-minute transfer window.
Right.
So we technically missed it, but then the train we were supposed to catch was actually delayed half an hour.
Right.
So we were going to catch it.
It
But
was
just
on the
as it was
same-
arriving, they said it was canceled.
Right.
But then they told us to get on and it said it was going to Aarhus anyhow.
Right.
No, it was actually going to Fredericia, and from there it was canceled.
Okay.
Right, whatever.
And-
But it was the train we were supposed to get on. We got on it and it got us to where it was going to get us, but it wasn't our train.
Yeah, well, we got up to a stop, which we thought we had to get off. There was a young couple on the train that said they were going to our house, so we should stay.
Yeah,
on
they
the
weren't going to
train.
our house, honey. They were going to
Basically,
Aarhus.
if
Aarhus.
I'm allowed to explain it,
Yeah.
is that the train that Anthony and Joyce was going on, a train has a train number as an identification.
Right.
And at a certain time, they say, this train can no longer make it to the destination.
Right.
So we are taking it out of the timetable. But the next train that is going in the same direction is going to be coupled up with that train that we have taken out. So we are extending the next train with the set that they were in. So they came in the same set that they should be. It just had a
Right.
new name.
It was so weird.
So how was that different than what I said in about 100 words fewer?
We started on a train
Where we were on the train we were
was-
supposed to be on, but it wasn't our
which
train,
had three
but
cars.
it went to where it was supposed to take us anyhow.
It had three cars when we started.
Now Joyce's version.
Yes, and then when we ended, it had 18. You know, it was weird at one of the stations. It'd move a little bit and then stop, move a little bit. We're like, what the heck? Let's get going. It was adding cars, but we didn't know that at the time.
Now you know when I do my live streams at home, I host alone.
I don't host alone. I come,
Well, 2/3 of it.
come along for a little bit of it.
No, the train didn't split. It
No,
was
It was
joined.
added on.
It
yeah.
multiplied. When
Yeah.
Joyce and I got on it at 3
Yeah.
cars, by the time we got to Aarhus, it had like 12 or 15 or 18.
Oh, it went way back. I
It
think
was
18.
There was a lot of
Yeah.
Danish mating going on there.
Right. And they're interesting trains because they're completely flat in the front and the back.
It's actually a train that equals the wide set that,
Right, yeah, that
right.
3-car
Yeah,
set is what we
It's
rode,
what we rode.
yeah.
which, seeing it coming around here and this is what we rode, there wasn't a lot of
Yeah,
space
it's
on
a
it.
rubber nose train. Yeah, I've heard that before you said that. I think that's very interesting. It decompresses when they join them together.
Yeah.
That's
Aarhus
cool.
in the middle of, yeah, I've been
we
singing
did
that
a lot. Yeah.
because Joyce keeps calling it our house.
Our house.
It's Aarhus,
Aarhus.
and
Ah,
she keeps going our house.
yeah.
What time are we getting to our house? We're not going to our house, honey. That's June 25th when we fly out.
2 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
But
a country
yeah,
left
it's
when we
just
get
been
there.
crazy. But the what's weird is I talked about it last week from Lubeck is we always pack a lot in days, but we're sort of having these days where we just get overwhelmed with so many things. Like the day we arrived, Jean took us and showed us the town of Aarhus. And then we drove through some of the region of Abeltoft and he showed us that. And it's a lot to process and go, oh, wow. And then the next day I even forget where we went, but we're on a peninsula. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Denmark is a peninsula. And then what we're on is a peninsula. Aarhus is around a bay, the Bay of Aarhus. We're on the other side of that bay, but
Right.
then a couple of kilometers.
Hi,
So
Mom and Sons.
we're
Hi,
on the
Tammy.
Bay of, hey,
Good,
Tammy and
yeah.
Ray.
And Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But where we're at is so skinny. It's like we're 500 meters from. Is it still the Bay of Aarhus out here?
No, that's the Bay of Abeltoft.
The Bay of Abeltoft, And then the other way is the
Etiquette.
Kettigat.
We were a little confused.
So
It's an awful lot of
yeah,
water.
a 5 to 10 minute walk that way, you're in a gigantic body of water, and then a 20-minute walk that way, you're in a gigantic body of water. And it's really cool.
They're lovely. They are absolutely lovely.
So we hope we don't sink, because then we will really be on.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. You may have a problem in the future. You'll have to scoot into the center
Yeah.
toward Germany.
But it's just we'll have to go back to the pictures and remember it all.
Yeah, we will,
because it was just insane.
processing time we've learned over the years. Here's
And that's just since we've been able to, because we've seen so much. But we got to remember, since the last live stream, we met Artie in Hamburg.
We did, yeah.
And we broke Artie.
We did.
We broke Artie.
Well, the surprise he isn't on.
We
yeah.
Well, he's in another time zone. He
is.
He's east of us.
Yeah, that's right. To watch the Heroes of Telemark tonight.
We'll be packing. But on Saturday, Joyce and I were originally supposed to go up to Kiel.
We learned quite a bit here.
We wanted to go up to Kiel, but I think you guys saw on the live stream last week, you heard me deciding to change my mind.
Yeah.
It's a you question. You got it?
No, I just.
I think you might need glasses too.
Yeah, well, the catamaran, it took one time it took the blue ribbon of the Atlantic. That's correct. But I think they are still sailing with it, but they have also over time retired the fleet of ships and gotten some even bigger catamarans from that shipyard there that you're talking about. SJ Train World.
Right now, I look so pale. Albinos are going, dude.
What is the name of SJ Train World?
Simon.
He's Simon.
Or
Simon.
Simon, as I said.
Simon says.
Whatever Danish Simon is.
Yeah.
Bill.
I hope that made sense for everybody.
Sure it did. And if not, you can write us, and for $1.99, we'll send you the transcript of the show.
Right.
See how many people get that old joke. But as I was saying, so we decided that there was just too much we wanted to do, and there's no way we could get it all done on Sunday. So we told Artie, if you want to come with us, you can go with us down to the town of Delmenhorst. It's about an hour and a half from Hamburg, but it took about 2 hours and 20 minutes because we got delayed.
Well,
and then
holiday weekend.
Artie had already been
the entire way to Delmenhorst.
Artie had already been walking around a bit at Hamburg, and after all the work he did in Serbia, his legs were already hurting him. But we walked him around Delmenhorst a bit. And if you're not used to being in Europe with all the cobblestone roads and uneven brick roads, it beats the crap out of your feet, even with the best shoe wear.
Yeah,
it beats the crap out of your feet. I'm amazed that most people are still walking at the age of 60 or 70 in this part of the world, because those cobblestones are brutal.
Yeah, they are.
But anyhow, we went down to Delmenhorst and we took him out to our favorite restaurant in the world, the Grotberg at Delmenhorst, and we introduced him to Swiss style veal.
Tim, I know how he feels.
Oh yeah, we broke yeah.
We do that. We don't really mean to. We're sorry.
But so the next day, we tried to get him. We took him
to the laundry.
Oh, we took him to a train shop, which you might have heard on his live stream last Saturday. But if you didn't, we took him to a really cool train shop in Hamburg, and Artie spent a fortune.
He did.
Those people, when he got done putting everything and saying yes, he was going to buy it, those two people were thanking me for bringing him there.
Yeah, they were very happy.
They were
that made the day.
That was their vacation money for the next,
pretty much,
for their next holidays.
Made their quota.
Yeah. Artie bought a lot there. I didn't, but Artie did.
Yep.
I bought 15 euros worth of stuff.
We have 15 euros of
stuff.
Yeah.
But then we took Artie to Miniature Wonderland, and I'm glad I didn't try to live stream.
Broker. We took him to the.
Oh, we took him to the London Brook, and I didn't care about that. Went on a boat.
Yeah, but it's just we made him walk a lot there.
Yeah. So anyhow, we went to Miniature Wonderland, and it was epic. I love Miniature Wonderland. Unfortunately, Artie's legs were not happy.
Yeah, he was in some pain.
He was in some pain walking through Miniature Wonderland, but it was epic. But we were there over 4 hours. I've always said on my live streams that you can go through Miniature Wonderland in two and a half hours. Bonsoir, Titi Henri, ça va? But I already posted a small video where he talked about it, said it was really cool. But the thing is, we went on a Sunday evening, but it was Pfingstferien, which is like, it's a holiday. Whitsun. It's in English, it's Whitsun. It's Whit Sunday and all that. And so all the kids had Monday off of school if they were still in school. But a lot of people have week-long holidays, and everybody's traveling. The train stations were packed, which explains some of the train issues we had. But even Miniature Wonderland normally doesn't have that big a crowd
pressing all the buttons
on Sunday night. Wow. And there were just a lot of kids there, and the kids, of course, running your way because I'm sorry, I never want to say anything negative about Europe, but if there's one thing, at least in the German world, is they don't discipline their kids. It's just let the kids do what they want. And
we could spend 6 hours there. Yeah. You could spend 2 at the airport.
Yeah, we were there easily over 4, and we could have been there longer. But again, normally I can walk through it, but there was just so much more there. But also, like when we started, Artie spent like 20, 30 minutes at just the first couple of exhibits.
Right. I thought,
not rooms, just we walk in and we start with the original section, the heartland of Germany, and just the very first table, he stood there for 20, 30 minutes just staring and gawking at that. And then we moved 10 feet down the line to the next little bit to see, and he stayed 10, 50, and it's like, well, it's your time, but Artie, I'm trying to go through so I can see everything. Well, that's true. When you're sure you have to walk twice as far. It really was. I was a Dunedain, and he was a dwarf from Lord of the Rings. Not quite Hobbit, taller than a Hobbit.
It's the fire service, that's right.
Yeah. And they have rearranged it again. I mean, in the 2 years since we've been there, we're not talking just all the expansions and new things they've built. They've rearranged everything. Like, for example, the last time we were there in 2023 and they had Mount Vesuvius, it was in the middle of a wall and there was a lot of stuff this way. Now Mount Vesuvius ends, they've built a wall, which I think actually hurt the Vesuvius, because Vesuvius used to be kind of in the middle of this long wall and it really stood out. Now it's in a back corner and it's like, where the hell's Vesuvius? You used to hear it going off and see, and where the hell's Vesuvius? And then you find it's around this section and in this corner. It's like, wow, they really, and
it wasn't where we left it.
And just, 3-4 years ago, that was their main attraction. But of course, the big thing about
this year
was we got to see the F1, and wow, was that epically cool.
Very cool.
The F1 was very cool. And some of the expansions, but they also upgraded the Drake, what is it? Drake's Passage, I think it's called. That gap between Patagonia and Antarctica.
I think it's called Magellan Strait.
Well, the Straits of Magellan, but that particular section of it's called Drake's Passage.
Okay, yeah.
The Straits of Magellan. But that section, and they call the display Drake's Passage.
That's still my favorite.
Yeah, it is very cool, but they've upgraded that a bit, and it was even more amazing.
We watched it 2 times where it hit the night and it was going hard. It was making me seasick. I had to leave.
Yeah, it's that realistic. It gets you seasick.
My stomach.
But I took my Z Fold, and there's just a little concrete block, around the display. And I just set my phone bent
Right.
on angle like this and just step back and let it film like it was
Wow.
on the bow of the boat.
Yeah.
And that view is on Facebook.
It
I haven't
is,
put it
yeah.
on YouTube yet, but I do have it on Facebook,
Yeah.
and it's really cool. I
Yeah,
should probably
it is
put it on
fun.
the Model Train Outsider
Yeah.
Facebook, but it's on my main Facebook,
Ah,
so friends and family could see it.
right. Yeah. The cadence is 2 times. Is he referring to your 101?
No, he's talking about marching. Drake's Passage.
Marching where?
You know,
They're a little behind when we were talking about Artie being shorter.
Small
Okay.
persons have to walk twice.
Gotcha,
It
gotcha,
takes
gotcha, gotcha,
twice as
gotcha.
many
I see, I
steps.
see, I see.
Come on, Joyce, get with the program.
Alright.
Callbacks, always callbacks.
Yeah.
Like Donna Lot, you look like you had.
Indeed. Yeah,
Yeah, it's her
okay,
versus
Eagle, I
Uncle.
got it. I just, I remember we were talking about the cadences of the steamers, and I'll quit talking.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I'm not the fastest person anymore, but going with Joyce and Anthony, I would say Joyce is like a woman on roller skates. She can really move fast. And
Yeah,
she
I walk
doesn't
a
have
lot.
roller skates.
And the thing is, when we dated, I used to outpace Joyce badly. I had to learn to slow down with Joyce, and now it's Joyce's.
Yeah.
I just have a naturally long stride. Even when I walk slow, I still
can
look
keep
like
up
I'm
with
walking
your long
fast. But
stride. But
you
if you,
keep because I
but if
shortened
you
it being
want
with you.
to,
But
Jim,
now
if you
you-
want to leave me, you can.
Yeah.
I'd have to run. Because again, I have a lot shorter legs than he does.
Indeed. But yeah, so Miniature Wonderland was very, very, very cool.
But that was the train related and with Archie and in last week. But if we go back to when you were here, you said you couldn't really separate what you did at which days. And I think it's very important to say the only day with really bad weather was Tuesday.
Yeah, it was.
And that was when we went to the Moscow Museum.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that
saw
was
exhibitions
yeah.
on
that was,
prehistoric.
yeah, thanks for bringing that up. That was
Yeah,
a very cool museum.
I have always been into since I first.
So you ended up in Stuttgart.
He ended up in Stuttgart.
Well, hi, Artie.
Hi, Artie.
And you're never late.
Where's Artie?
He says he's in
He
Stuttgart,
was trying to go
which
to
is
Frankfurt.
Stuttgart, but that's a different story.
Yeah, that's all right. I
Stuttgart,
I could interpret.
which is a beautiful city to be in.
Yeah, it is.
Very a lot of things around there.
There are.
But see, we broke Artie's.
You're near the American.
Yes, you're near the American.
Damn.
If you're depending on where you are, 30 minutes from the train station, 30 to 40 minutes from the train station, the Hauptbahnhof in Stuttgart, you're at the Märklin Museum. Or the whole Märklin,
knowing as the Märklineum.
the Märklineum. Well, that's the one part, but it's the whole factory. The factory's there, and it's free tours as long as the factory's open. And
but I guess
their big display
I
their
guess it's
shop.
It's not really any interest to Artie because he's a DCC rail.
Well, they have tricks there.
Yeah.
I know. The train. That's why he was in Stuttgart. So now he's back to Frankfurt.
Fell asleep on the train. Oh, he just made it back to his hotel in Frankfurt. He fell asleep on a train coming back from Lippe.
Okay. Did you get something good in Lippe?
Alarms.
Maybe really needs to be a thing.
Yeah.
You know when you're gonna arrive.
I told you we broke them.
Yeah, we did. Sorry, Artie, we broke
3 days or 5 days later, and he's still broken.
Yeah.
But we were talking about the Moscow.
Yeah, the Moscow Museum.
The Moscow Museum.
They're happy we left.
I have been into the stories of the bog people, these mummies, these mummified remains that they've been finding in Denmark, the Netherlands, the UK. I've always been into that and found it fascinating. And then recently, Joyce and I have been watching a BBC series that's been going since the early 2000s called Time Team with Anthony Robbins, aka Baldric from the Blackadder series. We watched a couple episodes on
we watched a lot of
one where they did it on the
Graubelman.
Graubenman, and as well as a couple they found in England, and the whole story's behind these sacrifice. So one of the most famous of these bog people is here near Abeltoft.
It's not me. It's not me, though. Anthony would probably claim it was.
The museum in Austin has about 6, yeah. But one of the more famous ones, found in 1952.
Yeah, we've been watching them, Leslie.
Well, is just outside of
it
was Orhus and so forth. Tolenman is another famous one.
Yeah. So it was a good opportunity to see one because we had.
But this was the best chance to see one, guys. So let's not get all competitive of who's got more and who was found first and all that.
That was really cool, but we really fell in love with a special exhibit they had.
But the thing is, the museum itself is gorgeous, and it's a museum of human history and archaeology.
Right.
And they had a special exhibit they've just opened, and I forget exactly the title, but it was something.
It was called Mother Earth, and it was
there was more to it. Mother Earth was part of the title. It's like mankind and Mother Earth or something like that. But it basically was because I spent 15, 16 years teaching a course called mythology, which we discussed the roots of mythology, religion, with my students.
This was Stone Age, right?
And this was prehistory and Stone Age.
Almost
prehistory to Stone Age into the early Bronze Age. And it was beautiful, and it was a well done exhibit, but it shows the rise, they talk about the rise of how humans started kind of worshiping the invisible gods and so forth, and the creation of the Mother Earth concept. And in most mythologies, you have what's called the Sky Father
to understand an uncontrollable world.
Yeah, the Sky Father. But in some of these early prehistoric and Stone Age cultures, we find in the European early humans, Homo sapiens, we find instead of the Sky Father element that you often see in mythology, what they called the Bull Father. So you have Mother Earth and Bull Father, because they represented the aspects of one represents the earth and agriculture, and the other represents the domestication of animals and so forth. So the male and female aspects of civilization. And it was just brilliantly done. We can't explain it enough and give enough credit. There's several things we saw and did at this exhibit. And it's just an amazing museum. We left before we really wanted to, but we did have other things we wanted to do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's true, Evo. We talked about that, and they talked about that. Yeah. But again, here's the one, because one of the big debates is many of the bog mummies being found are usually listed as having been sacrifices, that local people sacrifice these people for the sake of
the harvest
or whatever. Now, some guys from the UK also think many of them were executions, that these were people executed for crimes within the community and so forth, but most of them seem to be ritualistic and probably sacrificial. But having said that, before and again, I went to see this particular bog mummy because it was the closest I was going to get to one. If I ever go to the UK, maybe I'll go see the couple they have. If I ever get to the Netherlands, I'll go and see the Tolling Man and so forth. Hey, Tommy, how are you? But to me, one of the coolest, there were two very cool stories. One of them is going to be controversial, but I'll get to the non-controversial one. There were two skeletons of bog sacrifices, because they had a bunch of different ones. Some were clearly former they were people that had raided the village and been killed, because they had
Right,
evidence of battle wounds. They had evidence of battle wounds and evidence of being hung and then sacrificed into the bogs. But there were these two skeletons, which they believe there's not enough that they can do full DNA testing, but
Right.
yeah, the entire skeleton's there. But they each were roughly the same height, and they had the same birth defects, including their left arms were about 2 to 3 inches shorter than their right arms. They had certain other issues around their neck that the scientists studying these skeletons felt
Sucks.
that they probably had trouble speaking. And then one of them also had encephalitis because the skull had both signs of the skull being bowed out and swelling, and that they had drilled a hole into the skull, as they often did, to relieve the pressure. But then both bodies had axe wounds to the head. They had axe wounds to the head, which showed evidence of having been treated and healed. In other words, they didn't die from these axe wounds, but they had recovered from these axe wounds. So these guys are born with birth defects. They've had serious traumas in their lives, and including they might have been even involved in a battle, genetic problems, and then physical traumas that they had been in some sort of battle, where maybe one tribe took on another, one village took on another, whatever, fighting raiders or whatever, where they had suffered axe wounds that had been treated and healed. And then sometime after that, they were executed, or not executed, they were sacrificed.
It's just that they went
through all this to even be treated and healed and taken care of, and then they turn around and we need a sacrifice. How about those guys?
I said, tell you though,
They survive all that and they get sacrificed.
I am so amazed that long ago they knew that you had to relieve the pressure off the brain. I would have never thought they'd know that. But we saw a couple skeletons that had intentional holes made in the skull to relieve the pressure.
We always knew that was.
I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was something.
It doesn't feel like something you should know that long.
50 years ago or so. But,
yeah.
Okay. Now the other one is a bit more controversial. So I don't want any. I don't want any commentaries one way or the other on
it. Give more time.
But in one of the rooms they had the evolution of various human branches, and had they had taken skeletons and including Lucy, the oldest known hominid, and they used technology to determine how much muscle and facial, and they reconstructed them. But there is one that they had at this museum. It was a skeleton found in Denmark and it dates back to about 10,000 years ago. And until about 5 years ago, the skeleton had been identified as female based on its bone structure and the items that were buried with them. They were identified as female. They had female clothing and what are typically items found in a female tomb, and the bone structure suggested they were female.
Face and jaw.
But new bone structure, hip structure, etc. However, they did new DNA testing, allowed them to actually get samples out of the bones, and it turned out that this skeleton was male, but that within its culture, it was identified as female. Now, they don't know if this was a hermaphroditic person or whatever, but their DNA, their genetics said they were male, but their physical attributes and everything else said they were female, and yet they were, they lived till their 40s, or I'm sorry, late 30s. But clearly within their culture, they were identified as female. So apparently gender fluid existed even back 10,000 years ago. It's not something newly invented. So that was just very interesting. Hello, Ian. So we're not here to discuss your politics or religious views or social views on that.
Anything like
It's just
that.
what
It
the
just looks so
scientists, it's
interesting.
what the scientists have now
Yeah.
discovered.
Let's just say that the subject that we are talking about now is from a archaeological perspective.
Point of view,
It's
yeah.
nothing to do with one thing being more correct than the other thing,
Good.
or
Be
you
politics.
know, and that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's not politics, and it's not.
It's not politics, it's not
No,
religion. It was
yeah.
scientific
Yeah.
discovery.
Yeah.
It's all
Okay.
good.
But it's an awesome museum. I came to see one thing there, and the one thing I came to see was impressive, but there was so much more there that made the museum one of the coolest museums been at. And speaking of cool museums, we went to the Abeltoft Town Hall Museum. And of course, Abeltoft is a relatively small town. I don't even know if it's considered a town or is it considered a village?
It is a town.
It is a
and
town, okay.
And it has approximately 7,000 inhabitants in the town area.
So, but the town hall, which according to Jean, the old town hall, which is one of the few buildings that date back to the 1500s, because there was apparently the town was wiped out by a great fire and was raided and trashed. And so a lot of the old town was destroyed. But anyhow, we learned this from the museum there. But it's a small town, and the old town hall has a small museum in it. But one of the first rooms you can go in has this kind of cool 3D interactive thing that's done in Danish and English. And it's really cool, and it gives you the history of the region of Abeltoft.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool. I loved it a lot. My city of Toledo, with 300,000 people, doesn't have anything that cool that would explain the history. I wish Toledo would do something like that. It was very cool.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Yes, nice in Denmark. Yes.
They had a dungeon in the basement. That was creepy.
No, Tommy, I really don't do a lot of UK trains. Yes, I have a few 00 on my floor back home, but if I were to get any new UK trains, they would be I kind of have my eyes on the Lumo. I do like the new flirts that are out, so those might be something, but I really am nearing the end of buying any more 00 trains unless something cool Beetle related comes out. Artie, we had rain on Tuesday and we haven't had rain since. In fact, the last 2 days, Thursday and Friday, have been absolutely gorgeous.
It's been beautiful, especially Sunday. Pretty much everywhere we could be.
And Artie, you may have seen my Facebook post. But I did go swimming today. I recreated.
Is it?
Because it was like 2 days.
Sorry.
2 days ago was the 1-year anniversary of my swimming excursion in the frozen waters in the winter of Australia.
Australia, yeah.
Actually, the fall of Australia.
Oh, you should do a then and now post.
Yeah, I really got to do a then and now. And so today in the late spring, so it was late fall in Australia, late spring in Denmark, I went swimming again. The water temperature was about 10 degrees Fahrenheit colder than when I went in Australia. The air temperature was about 10 degrees warmer, although the wind chill made it cooler than that. But it was an epic experience.
Yeah, it sure was.
We didn't have any riptides here, Artie, so I got to really go full. I got to go full immersion. Yes, and I kept my shorts this time. I had a couple of Danish people walk up to me, and they were talking to Jean first. Started talking to me in Danish. I'm like, English oder Deutsch? I don't speak Danish. English oder Deutsch? And she was like, I forget her exact words, but we were quite impressed or something like that, that you looked quite firm in what you were doing there. And I was feeling really good about myself. Like, I just went and swam in this. I just went and swam in the Kattegut. I went and swam in the Kattegut and everything. And then about 20 minutes later, I looked down the beach and there's like 5 little kids, 4 to 8, jumping in and out of the water. And I'm like, oh,
these days
I'm like, yeah, these dames are tough. I'm out there. Look at me. I just swam in this freezing water. And then There's a bunch of kids down the beach.
Jumped by jeans and waded in. It was about calf level. Still got the pants wet, and really enjoyed it. Just enjoyed the waves coming in. Cold, bloody is that cold? But it was great.
Haven't you actually uploaded that video from the
Ah,
beach?
okay, we
to the-
wonder.
On Facebook, but not on YouTube.
No, but I know on Facebook, so people can actually, if
Yeah.
they know you on Facebook,
Right, but a lot of
See
people
you.
don't want to see my Facebook page because of
Yeah,
my political.
right, because of other stuff.
yeah.
Hi, Mick. Thanks for opening up the bar. We were missing you.
No, Tommy, I am HO. No N gauge, no 1 gauge, no O gauge. I've got some double O, but that's why the double O's on a little floor square. And I'm in Denmark right now, Tommy. I am about 4,400 miles away from home. But Jean Ricard showed me that he had a lot of Miracle track, and I pinned him to the floor and threatened him with further violence if he didn't put some track up to run trains. But I was magnanimous in my abuse because I only took 1 lane for myself. That's my train running on the outer line that I just bought yesterday and the day before, and I let Jean have the inner 2.
Right? Well, that puts
Hey, Curly.
you closer than normal. Like if he'd been at home, I think. Maybe
Yep.
not.
Why is this not updating?
Yeah, it is a DC layout, not an O.
Yeah, mine is 3 rail.
Hello, Dwight.
Yeah, that's true, Evo, because I do run that one American HO train on it.
Yeah.
And I did see Sir Colin of
Likes.
Colin, I already said hi to.
Sorry, different color.
Colin
I'm not
from
helping.
Colin's World Engage.
Ah, okay, that color.
Colin's Engage.
Okay.
Woodthorpe International.
I don't think that Anthony is going to change any of the locomotives from Macklin
No.
into Thomas the Tank Engines.
No, I have no connection to Thomas. My grandson knows Thomas. I don't. We watch episodes together, but I don't have any childhood connection to Thomas or any
Tommy
personal
was-
interest in it other than to share time with my grandson. He's got some Thomas locomotives, but no, I will not convert anything. I try to.
Tommy, we are not at home to show you Emma. So
Yeah, Tommy, we're not close to our home.
yeah, as you know, that's not our normal
This is
layout.
not my layout you normally see. Okay.
Yeah, this big carpet with the very fancy looking furniture.
Yeah, we're in a very noble house.
Yeah, indeed. Tricks ICE4 set for 170 euros. That's pretty good.
How'd you pull that off?
Yeah.
Or did they just trade in the value of your other stuff and charge you 170 more? But we also did Artie, when we went to Miniature Wonderland, Artie's got a friend in Australia, an old Italian guy that runs a had a train shop, and he had some stuff. And when he heard Artie was going to Miniature Wonderland, he asked Artie to donate something, and Artie did bring it. And they were a little confused because people don't donate to Miniature Wonderland. But we did talk to them,
that, Tommy. We'll see.
and they accepted it. Yeah, that's not.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But since our next trip is to the UK,
Right.
Jim Knopf is a not really a
Yeah,
known,
it's a German thing.
not
Yeah.
known in the UK as well.
Yeah.
Tommy, I also want to say that to the defense of Anthony and Joyce, we don't carry trains around on the vacation as such. They are vacation, not train runners on the vacation.
I brought lots of train stuff over this time.
Well, we
I've got a 249 that I got fixed over there right now.
Yeah, but
That's a beauty. I'm surprised you
that
put
was-
that on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have met you before in Hamburg where you didn't bring
That's
any
right.
train, you
Yeah.
know?
No. Well, that was because I didn't trust you.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I just didn't bring train stuff because we had talked online for many years, but this is the first time meeting you in person, and I just
Sorry, because he
because
was
because
buying.
he will deny it, but I guarantee you, I guarantee you,
Go Shinabus. Okay.
I guarantee you that when we leave, he's going to be counting all his Miracle stock.
Yeah, he probably will.
John will be counting it all just to make sure. I'll get at least 3 texts. Anthony, why is this missing? I don't know, John. I didn't even know you had one.
As for the number of things you bought, we really can't start taking any either.
Yeah,
We've got so
I can't
much.
afford to. I can't afford to steal now anyhow
Yeah.
because I bought so
Because
much.
of space.
I'm already trying to figure out how we're going to pack. We'll be
I'm
okay.
worried about it.
We'll be okay to Copenhagen, but our Flixbus says we're allowed 2 bags, one large
We'll be
suitcase,
fine. It won't
one
be
large
till the smush
suitcase,
it out
and
all
one
in.
small suitcase, or one like
I'll put my
backpack.
bag in my backpack. It'll be no problem.
Yeah, but it's my stuff getting it all in. But we're gonna find out tonight because we have to pack tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if we can fit it all in.
I like the Merklin Emma too.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we're debating on shipping it home, but actually the funny thing is it would actually be cheaper for us to get a second small suitcase and pay for it with the airlines to go home than it would be to ship it all home, especially with potential tariffs and taxes and everything else that we don't know we might be hit with.
Hi, Sparky.
Yeah, Flixbus is the Ryanair, but unfortunately, it was the only way to do our trip the way we're doing it. Hey, did I see Sir Raymond of Legs is here? And we have Sir Dave of Sparky, or Sir Sparky of David. But yeah, we are here in this. We're still in Denmark for a few more days, but this is our last day in Abeltoft, and it's been an awesome time. He's been an amazing host.
No, I'm really.
We have taxed him to his max, and yet he's come back each day ready for more. Yes, we've got 3 trains running. One's mine, and 2 are Jean's.
John is very happy to have his trains out too. Does the American Emma model have any couplers?
Yes, yes, it does.
No.
Yes, it does. There are cars that go with it, and my grandson, when he runs it, pulls a lot of cars with it.
Yeah. Vigo?
Yeah, and just the Wigo certainly is in France.
Okay.
One of you upgrade to business and you can carry an extra bag. Yeah, but carrying the extra bag in economy class is a hell of a lot cheaper than upgrading to business
Yeah, we
and
can't
then getting
afford
the
a
free
business.
extra bag. We can't afford business.
Well, we probably could, but we don't.
Well,
We shouldn't. Let's put it
it'd
that
take a
way.
long time to pay it off.
Yeah.
You got some fantastic shots today.
Some.
How do you get fantastic shots when you fall asleep on a train? You have your camera on a timer?
Before he fell asleep.
Before he fell asleep.
Because he was in.
Haven't you ever seen, he takes up his phone to film out the window and leans.
All right, Simon, we'll talk to you on the road tomorrow and hopefully we will definitely.
Yeah.
From a Kalishnikov.
Yeah, he's asleep on the way home. When are we coming to the Netherlands? Well, apparently not soon because your trains aren't running.
The Netherlands will probably be part of our next trip to this part of Europe.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that won't be till like 2028.
I'd like to do sort of a Scandinavian tour.
But that's Netherlands. That's not Scandinavia.
Well, yeah, but we'll include it in the Scandinavian.
Our next trip's going to kind of be all over the place.
Okay.
But we,
who knows? Okay, I don't know. It's sometimes
certain things will be coming
I'll
over.
just comment as being not part of the family. That I think we'll see what happens once Joyce decides that she finally is also finished teaching those little bandits that she teaches.
Change our time of year. We're
Yeah,
gonna start
yeah.
traveling in like October. I think.
Yeah, when she retires, we won't have to travel in June because one of the reasons we travel in June all the time
Right.
was because it was right after our school year and I was traveling with students. So we wanted to get it over with. But also, Joyce, any traveling we're going to do, she wants over so she can have the rest of the summer to get
You
ready for the
feel like
next
I have
school
a
year.
break,
Yeah, that she has a break.
This is great fun. It is not restful.
By the time
Wow,
it's
that would be
done,
a long bus ride
by the time it's done,
from
you're
Frankfurt
tired.
to the
You're
Netherlands.
tired because we relax up here on the
Yeah,
trip,
right.
but physically you don't relax. We get up
Yeah.
and we walk, we go everywhere. We don't drive a car. I mean, now with Jean, he's driving us around, but Jean will tell you, like, that was another thing we did. We went down or over to, we went south of Dragsmoor and he dropped us off at one point and then he drove all the way back around. And Joyce and I hiked this little 2-hour trail back to
That
where
was
Jean met
wonderful.
us.
Happy birthday, Tommy.
Oh, happy
Welcome to
birthday.
14.
So now you're the big 14. Cool.
Yeah.
But so next year is the UK, and then after that's Australia, and that will probably be our last trip to Australia. Just because
Alton
the
Bacon.
rotations of UK, Europe, Australia, and I know the UK's in Europe, but continental versus UK. It's pushing back trips we want to do because when Joyce and I actually planned out trips for years in advance,
And he still is.
and we've pushed a lot of things back, and we're starting to feel, like even this one, even though this trip is about 3 or 4 days shorter than our usual trips, we're starting to feel our age a bit. We don't walk for the hours and hours we used to walk. We get a little tired a little sooner, and looking 5, 10 years down the road, 10 years down the road, we'll be in our 70s. Well, I will be. And you slow down
Not much behind.
and you're not much
But
behind.
I don't know. I say we'll play it by ear.
Hey,
We're gonna-
Greg.
We're gonna go as long as we can and as long as we can afford it.
Yeah.
So as long as our bodies can, I guess, and we'll
Right.
afford it. And
But-
our trips will change
So
as we get older.
we really want to hit there's a couple of places in Germany I want to hit on our next trip to Germany. And yes, we want to get
Sorry,
Netherlands.
Artie.
We want to do Amsterdam. We want to do Rotterdam.
I have a
And
massage place.
some
that
other
would help.
places. Yeah, you'll have to.
Jacuzzi
Well,
tub.
that was the problem, Artie. If you'd just gone with us you were at Landensbrücke. We told you it was only a short bus ride up to the Reeperbahn and the red light district up there, Grosse Freiheitsstraße. We could have found you somebody who would have massaged your sore feet and legs and any other part of your body that was sore
Yeah,
and fatigued.
yeah. You swore.
On this nice,
Utrecht and Eindhoven. I would love to see Eindhoven. To be honest, there's a part of me that would be interested in going to Eindhoven and Arnhem to see some of the, see what little bits of the Battle of Operation Market Garden from World War II are still there. Kidding. Speaking of which, Mick, I have had so many beers and I haven't seen you in a while to compare because
oh yeah.
the beer. I brought up the beer. Watch out. I brought up the beer.
We need to have a clarification. Now you have publicly to admit that you have drunk Carlsberg,
Yeah.
and it was probably the best beer in the world.
No.
But it
No.
was.
We did get an actual Carlsberg from a Danish, and as I told him, it was actually drinkable. The Carlsberg that he sent us and the Carlsberg we had in the UK were two of the worst beers I've ever had, including American beers.
Right.
But we actually had a Carlsberg.
Or just good.
I had a Carlsberg twice, and both times they were okay. So apparently it's just something gets lost the minute it leaves Denmark. But like today I had a Belgian beer called a
Grimsberg's
a
blonde.
Grimsberg Blonde.
Yeah.
Grimmenberg Blonde or
Yeah.
Grimsberg Blonde. That was good.
First, and then found out it was
That was
Belgian,
good.
which is okay. He likes Belgian. beer.
I did break down and have just a standard Francis Connor Weiss beer, which was awesome. Joyce doesn't like them, but I
Do you have any knuckle couplers?
actually I have a few spares. I have some knuckle couplers because
The ones
people
you
sent me a
usually
bunch.
sell.
Those no. Those are the ones they sent me for the American cars. I
Oh,
ordered some,
see,
and then
okay.
Ray Bobel sent me a whole
few.
bunch,
Oh, okay.
which I use, which is why now I can run a 7-car consist with
Oh,
those
okay, cool.
cars.
I'm sorry you had a bad experience with the dentist, Andy.
Really coupled my knuckle to the
We're
dentist.
hearing your trauma.
Sorry about that.
I hear you.
Yeah, Tommy, I don't have them. I'm not home.
Yeah, yeah, Tommy, we can't. We're at Jean's house right now, so we don't have the things we normally do in our live feeds. I don't enjoy the dentist either. I will be very honest with you. So yeah, we are here now. Jean has a lovely collection of Märklin trains. So
He's got a great collection of
yeah,
stuff.
we have
Got to see a lot of it.
see a lot of the things he
But-
has. He's got a great collection. He's going to make it a mission
don't
to clean
know.
out one of his rooms, I think.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you so very much
Well,
for
you'd be happier if you had a layout.
probably yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. I planned on taking that. We would have to take down this layout today, and John said, "No, you can leave it up.
Not take
It
it
will be
down.
here when I come back."
That's good. That makes me happy.
I'm glad to hear it. It's
Yeah.
just it is tough for.
Boy, well, sure are bright lights.
They are, but it's gorgeous running there.
It is.
This looks cooler. You
Yeah.
guys are actually getting a lot of light because the camera.
The sun is not in our eyes anymore. It's setting.
Yeah.
So
The camera
it's low enough.
has a great light sensor.
Yeah.
So you guys are actually seeing these trains in better light than we are.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, we get to see the light functions on them better.
Right.
Because that little Danish the third car's lights are in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
It's
Flickering. I
flickering.
don't
Yeah.
know why. It
Yeah.
must have a loose connection or
I could try to find
Yeah.
yours, but you'd be. Oh, 33 Grad Obsolte. Bye to all. Bye. All right. Well, thank you, Ian. Take
Right.
care.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah, we're having a great time in Germany, although right now we're in Denmark.
Right.
But it's
And never call the
Yeah.
Danish Germans.
we
but
took a
it's
trip
quite
to the north.
quite all right, Tommy. They have been to Germany as well.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we had a
So-
great time. We were in Koblenz and went to a lot of places from Koblenz.
Ian.
And then Lubeck was great. Yes, it was nice to see you too, Ian. We love you. Glad to see when you post videos. And to all of you posting videos that are used to seeing my content, this is the most time I get for YouTube.
Yeah.
Like this morning, I got up early and was able to start replying to a bunch of comments on YouTube on some of my videos. I did watch a couple of videos, a couple of special ones, because I know the person posting doesn't get a lot of views and they look for me to really comment and such. Loose tooth that rocks but won't drop out yet. Come over here, man. I'm gonna have fun. But I thought you guys would enjoy us having actual running trains today. Special.
Yeah, 'cause we won't have that next week.
My knee somehow that got looped on my knee. And
He'll have to just run them across the stream again.
yeah, I did get some people who admired me doing that.
Yes, indeed.
But then those
Eh.
people also need help.
Is that a Belgian DMU?
No, it's a Danish, but obviously it's the same kind.
Similarities, okay.
Does Denmark have a Frisian speaking minority?
No.
No Frisians. No Frizzies.
Well, because
Although Joyce gets the Frizzies when it gets humid outside.
Did I do?
No, they have a Danish speaking population,
well,
which sounds like somebody speaking German but drunk and marbles in their mouth.
the only really minority we have here is
Sorry, we
some
didn't teach you
some
well enough.
Germans, living north of the border from
Wow.
Germany, and we have very good relations in both countries with the minorities.
Now, those little
It's time. You
First-
should be happy with
First
each other.
Schleswig War and Second Schleswig War, but it's 150 years of it. You get over it after time.
Well, when you look
Except if you're- no, never mind.
after 1920, when we had the
Well,
unification of the
And then, of
North
course,
Schleswig.
there was 1940, but we won't talk about that either.
Well, we didn't annex any more countries. At that time, there was somebody
You
talking
didn't lose
about,
any either.
No, but when you mentioned 1940, you should remember that there was some part of the Danish political establishment that actually wanted everything back from before the First Schleswig War, which
Well,
meant that the
indeed.
border would have
But that wasn't
been
going to happen.
just outside Hamburg, which would
Yes.
be kind of.
Thank you, Tommy. We appreciate it, Michael. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. We are.
That's Michael. Yeah, we're having a very good time here. And looking forward to Copenhagen tomorrow. The big city.
But yes, Raymond, the BR01 I bought at a museum, and apparently, well, you said it was a big deal that I bought that loco because it was really a big chunk of change for them.
Yeah. The little railway museum there where they sold the Märklin, they get it donated from former members of the club that had some relations with the museum, and kind of when they passed away, they sometimes have made the inheritance of their model train to the museum, and the museum earns a lot of, well, not a lot of money, but they get a kind of revenue into the museum to run the museum by selling the old stuff from what they have in it.
I had more I would have bought. Like they had 3 class 01s, and that was one of the things, if you've heard me talk in the last couple of weeks about my shopping list. One was an 01 or an 03, and they had 3 different 01s and an 03 and 2 different 44s, and a 44 was on my, well, if nothing else comes up, I'll get a 44. They had an old analog one, and they had it for 300 kroners, which is about $70.
Well, if it's, I don't think if you say 300 kroners, it's actually more than
about $50.
50 or
Yeah,
euros,
$50. But yeah, it was very cheap. And I was like, well, I could just buy a decoder,
No,
$100.
Tommy,
No, because old 3-rail Lionel would more than likely be O gauge, although I know Lionel did HO 3-rail for a
we
bit.
don't.
But nope. So anyhow, and then they had a really. Do they have 401s? Because they had the one that was in the wooden case for 300 kroners more than the one I bought. They had the one I bought, then they had one for 300 kroners, then they had that big set where it was in the big certificate.
But
big vitrine display.
That was what we are talking about is some of the collected items that Märklin over time has.
Right. They were collectors. All I'm saying is that there were 4 different 01s I could have bought. And the 2 fancier ones were both only 300 kroners. So again, about 40 to $50 more than what I paid for this one. But I went with this one because it was digital, even though it was. All right, good night, Ifo.
Good night.
It was digital, MFX digital, so more modern, had sound and light functions, and it has steam function. I put the steam thing in it, but we didn't want to run the steam today because I didn't want to have any residual oil when I pack it back up and travel with it. But it had a, but the other one was a era 6, modern era 2020 repaint. It was a beautiful display. It comes in a beautiful wooden case. And it was, dare I say, a little bit prettier than this one, only because it had some additional painting, which is what they say is a modern era repaint. It's one that's been refurbished and runs as sort of a heritage line thing. And then the other one was a super deluxe, but it was the same price as the other one in the wooden case, but it came with this display case, it was a rare, whatever. And that would have been the best deal to buy because those things go for $600, $700, and I would have gotten it for $300. Those go $600, $700, $800 or whatever. And but it was just too fancy, and it's got all these displays, and it's sort of like meant to be a display item. It comes with a little glass case, wooden frame glass case, and then all this other stuff with it. And so I went with this one.
Okay, Michael, we've used eBay for things, classic things, just things that we need.
But nothing classic. I don't have any classic Hornby or Train. I'm just not that much into Hornby. I just buy
we don't do
modern
Hornby.
trains other than the Mallard
Yeah.
and the Duchess of Sutherland.
Do you need some more?
No, I'm good.
I'll just go and get it.
Okay.
I thought you were going to break those beers out.
Well, I thought maybe we throw them in, but we could break those beers out too.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought you did.
All right, we'll go break the beer out. I don't know if he wants one, but you can break them out. I'll try. It's Abelhoff beer. It's beer brewed right in town, and we bought them a few days ago and we never tried them. Oh, she has not seen it. I haven't seen it. She hasn't seen it. The Wallace and Gromit wrong trousers train. No, although, oh my God, that's something we haven't talked about. We've stumbled across a couple of cartoon shows while we were here. One is a Danish cartoon supposedly for kids that I would never let a kid watch. The Danes and maybe some Northern Germans and Dutch people might know it, called John Dillerman. And I don't know how to explain the John Dillerman, but I hate to be seen as uptight, but I would never let a 4 to 8-year-old kid watch John Dillerman. All I will tell you this is that Diller is Danish slang for a penis. And he's Dillerman. Yeah, you're too young, Tommy. You shouldn't even be listening to this, Michael. Dillerman. Yeah, it's totally inappropriate. But the Danes seem to think it's fine and okay. Yes, Raymond, thank you. We were trying not to go very, very, very specific on that. We do have, but the other one we came across is actually it's seen here in Denmark, but it's actually I think it's a UK show, but we're finding it in German subtitles, or German dubbed, which is how it's shown here in Denmark. But we're actually liking it. It's very funny. It's called Shaun the Sheep. Anybody know Shaun the Sheep? No, Michael, he's not. It's actually, this is something you're too young to be hearing about. Okay, so which one am I supposed to be trying? Hey, Senator Bounty.
So did you pale enough for today? So you got whatever that is.
What did I get?
I don't know.
If this is that IPA,
It's not the IPA, but the IPA there.
NGP. So wait, I wanted a Pils.
They're all supposed to be some.
They're all supposed to be a form of Pils.
Yes. So this is a local beer, and this is all right. Sean, you used to watch them. Yeah, you could have watched Sean. We're going to show that to Kai, and it starts with a theme song.
Yeah, Shaun the Sheep is fine for kids.
Yeah.
The Danish John Dillerman, no.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Danes think it's okay for 48 years old, but maybe it's just we're too uptight and the Danes are just laid back.
So anyway, after there's a song, I think it must explain the story of Shaun the Sheep, but
that's okay.
Yeah, this is okay too.
Well, the problem is once you have one beer, it can throw us.
We can.
No, we're mixing our alcohols, man. I already had it was a 7.6%
I
beer.
like that one a lot better.
I like them equally.
Good.
They're not the
Okay,
best
that
beers
one.
I've ever had, but they're okay. Yeah, this is a little heavier. This is a wheatier.
Yeah.
This might even be a
So-
white beer.
Anyway, it was
Yes, it's related to Wallace and Gromit, but
Right.
it's a cute show.
yeah, so anyway,
we've
after
been
the
enjoying
theme
it a lot.
song, there's no there's no words. It's all just action. And it is adorable.
Yeah.
I guess we are talking about Shaun the Sheep.
Shaun
Shaun
the
the
Sheep.
Sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already
Yeah,
mentioned
we'll
John
show
Diller.
that to Kai. when we
Okay,
get home.
okay, but
See if it'll hold them just with the no
Yeah,
words,
yeah.
I wonder. But
we are trying to export John Dillerman.
Mm-mm.
yeah, no.
We've talked about it and we've moved on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly because
thought-
we have a 14-year-old who's not familiar with this.
Okay.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. You make noises like the farmer. I love that he listens to heavy music,
Yeah.
though, hard rock or whatever he's listening to. He's got a loud music in the truck as he comes in. Yeah, he does just
The
grunt.
dog. He just grunts. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, except when the dog used the whistle to
Mm.
call everybody, every
Yeah.
sheep to.
right.
It's kind of in between being a human and being a dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm. Yeah, we saw Michael. We see your comments. Yeah. But again, this is stuff that was after my kids grew up and
Oh, yeah.
before I had grandkids.
It's different. When our children were little, there wasn't YouTube. So
Well, technically
know,
it was, but
it's okay. But anyway,
well, AJ would have been 11, but
yeah, we just didn't have good access to it, is the best way to word it.
we weren't exposed to it. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So now we can get it. And our grandson has seen all kinds of interesting things via YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've stumbled across a lot of ridiculous shows.
Is Shirley the really big one?
No, what a girth.
How would we know? There's no words.
I don't know. I actually only know that the dog is named is Bitzer and Sean is the
skinny
skinny
sheep.
one
Skinny
with
sheep,
the
yeah.
extra.
Yeah, little poofy.
Yeah.
Hey, you like Anthony's hat?
Yeah, I bought this at the
You
Danish.
didn't buy
Yeah,
that.
sorry, I'm not. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Jean bought this for me because I liked it and Joyce hated it.
Yeah.
Actually,
She didn't need it.
actually, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Adult channels.
It's
yeah.
getting dark.
Actually, it wasn't.
Yeah, sure, Artie, sure. It turned on by itself and happened to be on a German adult channel. It just randomly turned on.
Has Artie found John Dillerman?
Shh. We've moved on from this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We've moved on.
Moving
We've moved
on.
on. Besides, I've already decided to introduce it to some of his sheep friends.
Yes, he would.
Oh, that's why he's so excited. We are talking about Shaun the Sheep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
I-
Artie's riled up. We mentioned sheep and Artie's awake.
Actually, when come to think of it, when we if you think of the farmer, doesn't it have a certain likeness to the man from Australia?
Huh?
Kind of balded and
Oh, but beard, no beard, yellow hair.
yeah, but
Yeah, no.
no, okay.
It's a little bit
Yeah,
of a
no.
stretch.
I was
Tommy
just
likes your hat.
Oh, good. I like it. It's the problem is it's dark here, and the one light that we
It's
could
behind us.
use behind us,
Yeah, it's
the plug has been
reused.
commandeered for something else.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you had a big day. It sounds like Artie.
Like we said an hour ago, we killed Artie. We broke Artie. We didn't kill him. We broke him.
That's right.
We broke him.
That's all right.
Thanks.
Does it taste good? Those
They're okay. Joyce does not like this one. I feel that not that they taste the same, but they're equally okay.
Okay.
I would not say either is a great beer, but they're drinkable.
Well, it's as it's Ebeltoft Gårdbryggeri, which is a microbrewery, and they do a lot of experience with relatively small batches of beer.
Right.
So
No, I'm all in favor of supporting the locals.
yeah.
Hey, I like Abeltoft, and maybe someday I can be an adopted son here too. Only in a nice, legally binding way that I can emigrate here should the need arise. Although then I'd have to learn to speak Danish.
Well, with
Ha.
all the stuff that you say, and the mouse that never stood still, I'm sure you would learn it quite reasonable.
Nah, they would listen to me try to speak Danish and go, it's all right, I speak English.
Perhaps.
What trains have I got on the layout today? I have one train on the layout. Coming under me right now is a Danish diesel unit called an ICE. An ICE. And then right now, that's my train. That is a Class 101 locomotive and 4 cars to go with it, which you're not really seeing because it's getting dark here and the lighting in here is
not too
up to the standards that the room needs.
Well, it is. It's very cozy in here. It's not for
live broadcasting. Not for live broadcasting. We need a couple of floodlights in here.
Yeah.
Danes are known for keeping things they like too. I think most people keep things they like if they can. No, that is not normal. That's something that this the trains on line 1, my train, and line 2 are running for the first time in their lives ever today. So there are a couple of little tricks with that guy back there. It could be even the track. Much of the track we use today, this is the first time it's ever been put out and used, right?
More or less.
Yeah. Some of it has been used before, but a lot of it was the first time out of the box. Jean Ricard actually has a small Miraculin store in this house. I mean, he has got boxes of track. He's got trains everywhere. It's very cool. A couple of times we've sat down and just looked at different things. But like this, he's never had this out of the box. We loaded it up today and got it going. It's got a couple of issues with sound functions. It's supposed to have more than are actually working right now. And yeah, all of a sudden the lights have been flickering. They weren't flickering earlier, but they have been flickering now.
Yeah, and yeah.
So and a lot of times that's just contacts, and Jean knows his stuff, so he'll clean it up, fix it up, and make it work better.
Basically, the choice of the trains that I put on was to find some trains that I with a certainty knew that Anthony wasn't able to put up.
Yeah,
at his layout.
There's this competitive spirit coming in. Does he have as many as me? It's hard to say because yours was all in a closet and all stacked up. This stuff is scattered in several closets and 4 or 5 rooms. And I'm not saying that to belittle or anything. It's how it is.
If you have an empty drawer somewhere, what would you use it for? Well,
and he just buys stuff. He buys it because he likes the looks of it. He's got several things he's bought. He's never run. There's another train in a bag over here that's never been run.
Well, those 2 had actually been running.
Oh, okay.
Because they are on one of the few videos that I have on my
channel. That's right.
They are running, with beer cars,
Yeah. Because we're in a situation where I'm Joyce and I are starting to worry about how we're going to get our trains home. And literally to get home, we're probably going to get another suitcase. And or I'll get a tackle bag and just throw everything else I'll throw my backpack with my computer in my luggage, although they don't want you doing that. Cameras and batteries, they want to be kept out. But I'll throw all my train stuff in a little duffel bag or in my backpack and throw everything else in my suitcase. And hopefully my suitcase won't be overweight. But I have 15 pounds to spare on my suitcase, 15, 16 pounds. So easily 6 kilos, 6 to 7 kilos.
Just
Empty drawers, get to be home for unmade kits, get to be home from. Well, obviously, yeah, you can do a lot of things with, but this is, I hope, I'm trying to think of a way to say this and hope that you don't take it the wrong way. This house is, in a way, it feels like it's a museum house. There is so much very classy, gorgeous, I would even say in many cases, antique furniture. There's just beautiful, beautiful pieces of furniture.
well,
I look at this. I told Jean the first day we got to this house, it's like, oh my God, there's museums and castles that would pay him money for some of these pieces of furniture because they're looking for stuff like this to complete some of the rooms they're doing. But this is all special because this all belonged to your family.
yeah, and to me, I don't see the stuff quite that way because it's, this is how I grew up.
Hey, SGB Media, thanks for coming in.
Is JB, are you there?
Yeah, Michael, there's a lot of things. It could be a contact, the coupling between the two, could be a loose wire. There's a lot of things. He'll investigate it, but we decided to have some trains running. And again, 5 hours ago, this train had never run before.
I just need to speak Danish to Sebastian. Vi kommer over forbi Sporvejsmuseet i morgen, så hvis du har mulighed for at være der i morgen eftermiddag, så kan du da hilse på Anthony og Joyce i virkeligheden. Did you get that, SJB Media?
Do you know SJB Media?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we have had, it's been an epic trip. It's just, there's no other way to put it. What I'm going to do here, give me a second.
Okay, you're going to the Railway Museum, yeah. In Odense. I understand that SJB or Sebastian. Det er forstået.
There it is. Flashlight. I don't know, will this help? If I put this up here, that'll light me up. That'll light us up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any choices in the dark.
That's all.
Yeah.
Story of her life.
You understood that, Anthony or Andy, that I'm glad that you.
Well, I won't be doing the checking, Michael, because it's Jean Ricard's new train.
Right. I don't think it's a new train, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
It's the first time out of the box was today when we.
yeah. He had bought it and looked at it, but never even touched it, never taken it out of the box. So we put it up today. Yeah, well, that's one of the great things.
Sean and SJB are going to kidnap Anthony and Joyce and take them to an unknown location.
Oh,
Even there till they decide to stay.
I go by Jean's given to me nickname, Reisman. Reisman, sort of like German Reise, obviously.
Yeah, that's right.
But how would you Reisman?
Reiseman. No,
Reisman.
no. The travel man.
Right.
And,
as in German, Reisemann.
yeah.
Danish is a Germanic language.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's brand new.
But you see, SJB Media
Well, brand new-ish.
right.
is a young man compared to me,
Right.
and he is also.
We're all young men compared to you.
Yeah, I know that, Anthony. I know that.
You are so ancient. You are so ancient. Exactly 6 months older than me. But he likes to lord it over me because he can't, lord anything else over me. He's shorter than me.
Not quite sure why.
Well,
someone-
I
Doesn't
carry
have as cool a train collection as me.
I carries
Are you
a
sure?
lot more weight than Anthony
Anything to
does.
poke him.
Yeah, okay. 'Cause he's got a pretty good collection.
Oh, I carry the same amount of weight. I just carry it in better places.
No, you don't. I'm pretty sure if we got on, I
Duolingo.
don't know what is it's called when you have, like a big log on where it's hinged on the middle and you
Right, the
What-
teeter totter, anything else.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Yeah,
could
I
potentially
could
win.
have you up in the air and
It's
keep you
quite
there.
possible, or quite possible. It would just be you would try, but I'd be hanging on tightly, and
Yeah.
whatever helps your ego,
Thank you.
whatever
Thank
helps your
you.
ego, dear. He's given us a link, Lancelot link.
Okay.
To check it out after the stream, of course.
Yeah, we will check it out later,
I don't know if you do it now
Sebastian.
and open up a new,
Yeah. I'll just go right here. Bingo. Open link in new tab, and this is video. Looks like the Trent Museum.
Yeah.
Or VA. I wasn't even close on that, but I tried.
remember all those tracks.
You were never here.
You don't have to see
I was
it,
never there.
today
Ah.
You were never
because
there.
Yeah, okay, I see.
yeah.
But yeah,
Thank
we've
you,
had-
Sebastian.
very cool. All right, good night, Center Bounty. Yeah, we actually we don't have to get up too
Center
early
Bounty.
tomorrow, but Joyce and I have
Yeah.
to pack tonight. So we're gonna be wrapping this up in about 8-9 minutes. But
2 hours is good.
it's been it's hard. We are gonna be saying goodbye to this house.
Yeah,
And
Well, I'm going.
and he's going with us to Copenhagen.
Yeah, but
Jean's going with us to
I'm
Copenhagen.
coming back.
But you're coming
you're
back.
coming
Yeah,
back.
you're not coming to
I
Rostock with us.
hope I don't have to say goodbye to it. I'll just see you later, so to
Yeah.
speak. What does Tommy say there?
Hey, Jean, a little tip for you in case you want to stack up or more, put them in a cardboard boxes or shit. Jean knows.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Tommy.
But you got, just in case you guys don't know, you weren't born in this house, but you moved into this house when you were
7,
7,
6 or 7.
6 or 7. And then as he grew up, he moved away, but then you moved back in about 20 years ago, you said?
I moved in, 20 years ago when the last of my parents died.
Right.
I inherited
So
my
this is the house he knows. I mean, he actually drove us by yesterday. You drove us by the house when your father,
we
Rainer, not
in Ranners, yeah.
Ranners, yeah, in Ranners.
We drove by where I had the first 7 years of my
His father was the last. His father was the last of the royally appointed magistrates, like of the region, and then it was turned into an elected position instead of appointed. So your dad, I mean, and again, we're not saying this to mock, and we don't want to get into
No.
Your dad was a regional important
manager.
important man. And there are portraits in this house of him because being a royal appointment, he's in sort of these pseudo military proper uniforms.
Actually, the uniform dates back to when they did have a military function.
When they had a military function as well.
So they just kept the uniform
So,
as long as they had.
I mean, even the artwork in here, what's really cool is I wish we could show it. There are 2 portraits of his father in here, official portraits. One was the sort of the test run and then the final portrait. And I think we all agreed the test run was actually the better portrait.
Yeah.
That's upstairs. The other one is just over here. But the artist who was commissioned to do that had some time, and he did a charcoal sketching of you said you were about 4?
Four.
4-year-old Jean, and it's hanging in the hall over here, and it's really cool. But yeah, so his father was. So when your father had to get special permission to leave Ronners to move out here, and it was granted to him
Yeah, because
because he was supposed to live at the house in Ronners, but he was going to start school and they wanted to move out here. But this is a museum house. The furniture in each room is just amazing. It is high level quality stuff. This is, and that's why I say it's a
easy
museum.
now, Anthony.
Oh, are you worried that we're going to invite thieves and?
No, but I just don't. In Denmark, you.
All right, you have to remember, I grew up
Yeah.
relatively poor. This stuff looks like top end shit to me. Okay.
Okay,
There.
but
It's actually cheap knockoff ripoff stuff. I'm just too ignorant to understand. So please don't come and steal all this amazing, immaculate, cool furniture. There.
you know,
Does that help you out?
we normally don't advertise.
You need
We
to drink a
just
beer and
live
get some
in it.
sleep.
Yeah, and you, I, I need to unplug your.
I'm already tired. I swam in the ocean today.
I shouldn't have taken you back home. I should have let you flow to Sweden instead.
Hey, I started walking off to Sweden yesterday.
Yeah.
No, that.
And then I tried
Norway.
to.
Try.
Oh no, you're right. I was heading towards Norway.
Yeah,
I was heading towards Norway. Today it was Sweden.
yeah.
I'm still mad. I really wanted to pull that joke and I didn't think about it until I thought about it last week.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it after I swam today. No, just before I swam today.
Before you went.
That would have been funny because we knew that if we swam at this one that like Sweden's that way, and I knew he'd make a joke like there goes Anthony swimming towards Sweden, and so I was going to go in the water and have this stuff in my pocket. And when he come back, I was just waiting for him to go. So did you make it to Sweden? I was going, actually, yes, I did, and pull out a little Swedish flag and a little Swedish something else and go. They loved me there, but I forgot to buy the stuff.
Right, yeah. So. 4 minutes.
Yeah, I figured we shut it down in 4 minutes. Tomorrow, Finland. Finland's going to be a little harder to reach, but when we get to the Isle of Rugen, Finland will be a little more within reach. But yeah, we did that.
Well, it's
159 unread emails.
Really?
Damn, woman.
Oh, just updated. I do.
are they complaining about something?
No, Joyce's email is suddenly working. Mine won't, but hers is now.
So I can't really open anything.
She can't
Okay.
open anything,
It
but it's
doesn't
showing her what she's
open
got.
it.
Okay.
Okay, we got it, Michael. We got it. But again, Jean runs Danish and German trains. He's like me, except I don't run Danish trains. German, Austrian, and Czech with one American and a few Brits.
Well, you are very versatile in your choice of
In so many
trains.
things.
Mostly in your choice of trains, except that you don't have a Danish train.
No, I don't have a Danish train. I saw some cool ones, but none that were in AC or in boxes big that were small enough for my luggage. Because I'm holding out. I'm holding out for a I'm still trying to find those night jet cars. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but we're going to try. But anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to say this, but it is closing. It's 11 o'clock here. We've got to pack because he's just packing for a couple of days, but we got to pack all our stuff up because we're not coming back here. We're going to Copenhagen for a couple of days, and from there we're on to Rostock in northeastern Germany. So we have got to get everything packed up. I've got to put this train that I've been running away
Right.
and get that in all
Find a
its
place to sneak it into.
and figure out the best way. Actually, I know I'll get it into my luggage if I rearrange some things. Yeah, only 5 p.m. there. Yeah, I know it's only 5 p.m., but here it is 10:58. So we need to really wrap this up.
Yeah.
But again, we want to thank you guys for joining us. Obviously, it's
set up. So
it's not the
harder.
same. It's not the same as everything else we could do. But we did get some trains running thanks to Jean. It's just been, hey, Sir Tom of Houston, great to have you here. And, check out some of the stuff. Most of our trip videos will be on Joyce's channel after we get back. I do have a video I'm hoping will get out tomorrow, the next day, because I did film Hobby Caden. That's the Danish shop where we went yesterday, and I bought the cars and a couple other things. And yeah, but it was a really cool shop. I was trying to upload it today, but it was just going to take forever to do it, and I didn't want to interfere with the bandwidth of this broadcasting in 480. You guys are seeing a very grainy show, but for us, it just made sure everything worked and we could run multiple cameras. So it wasn't high definition. I apologize, but this way we didn't have any lag, any slowdown. There's the 11 o'clock bell. So are you guys ready to join in?
yeah,
On that note, we would like to say,
Auf Wiedersehen.
you look at the camera. Now you do this right. No, we're going to start over. And on that note, we're going to say,
Auf Wiedersehen.
and happy trains. Take care, everybody.